r/askreddit. Girls, what was the most obvious hint you dropped and the guy just didn't get it? I threw my panties at him and he kept explaining God of War lore. Man of culture. We were talking about canoes and I said I'm like a canoe because I'm wet and you can go inside me, and he said canoes aren't really wet. When my boyfriend and I had just started dating, we were laying down watching a movie, but this was a small bed and he was being respectful and giving me space. I kept wiggling backwards so I could get closer to him, and he kept inching backwards too, since he thought I was just trying to get comfortable and he was in the way. He ended up sitting in a chair next to the bed. 3 years later we are still together and I still think it's pretty funny. He told me that when he was in the chair he purposefully left his hand next to me in case I wanted to hold it, but I guess I missed that sign too. He didn't get out of the bed because he was uncomfortable. He truly thought he was taking up too much space and didn't realize I was trying to cuddle. After chatting for hours on top of a mountain from sunset until like 2 AM, sharing a blanket, me leaning my head on his shoulder, telling him he's attractive, etc., he turns to me and says back, quote, "How do you tell if a girl is into you?" He told me my hair looked nice. I said, "Bet it would look nicer with your hands in it." He said, in a very confused tone, "You want me to style your hair?" I asked a guy on a festival to come take a shower with me. He didn't get it. He just repeated there was only one free shower, and I was like, "Well, they are big, I'm sure it's fine." And he just looked confused and told me I could go first. We became close friends since that happened about 2 years ago, and this summer I spoke to him about it and he really had no idea. He did the biggest facepalm I've ever seen. I'm a guy, but I once had an experience where I took the hint but still got rejected. A girl had asked me if I lost my virginity yet. We were in high school. When I said I hadn't, she said that I could practice on her whenever I want. Mind you, we walking home after school because we lived close. I try to act on this hint when we get to her house, and she said she was only joking and doesn't want it to be weird with us as friends. Every guy's worst fear right here. On our first date, my current boyfriend and I went out to dinner, to a bar, and eventually back to his house to watch scary movies. After hanging out for almost 8 hours at that point, practically cuddling into him the entire time we were watching movies, dropping as many hints as I could, around 3 AM, when we were both fighting to stay awake, I finally had to look his dumbass in the eye and ask, "So are you going to kiss me or not?" Though he was totally oblivious, it did show his good heart. He was about to let me fall asleep on his couch and spend the night without even trying to kiss me. I knew he was a keeper after that. Before we started dating, I told my current boyfriend I love you, and he said, "Or I love you too, you're such a good friend." The whole time we thought we were both friend-zoning each other. Wasted half a year going in circles SMH. Invited him over to watch a movie, eventually laying my legs across his lap and hard flirting. But after 4 movies one time a girl straight up asked if I wanted to take my pants off, and I didn't get it. I was like, "Nah, they're actually not uncomfortable at all." Literally said, "I want to be yours," and the dude just keeps smiling and goes on about random space facts. That one hurt a bit. I'm not as brutally upfront as some of these people, but mine happened yesterday. How do I know a girl is flirting with me? He asks. She touches you a lot while you two are talking. I cannot relate at all. That never happens to me. I'm sure it does. I tell him and hit his arm. I can't think of any time that's ever happened. For Valentine's a couple of years ago, I mailed my husband a package. The note said, and I quote, "I want you now." I was ready to spring into some extra fun sexy time. Whenever he opened the package, I had to sit him down and explain a couple of hours later. He was like, "Oh, guy here, but once had a girl drag me into the bathroom while at a college party saying she needed help finding her marker/pen. We didn't find it, and I figured out what was really going on a year later. We were discussing costumes, and I sent a picture of me in my bunny suit and said I'd need help out of it. His response was telling me he hoped my roommate was home, or that would suck. I had to tell him I was implying I'd like him to take it off me, and it took him a minute to catch up. Edit. For those of you concerned, it was very much a suggestive picture. I'm not sure it could have been perceived as just friendly, and no, you won't be getting proof of said picture for those in my DMs, lol. I was very much ready to hit him with the bat of bluntness because we get along great and he'd seemed flirty with me before. Complained I was a bit cold, so he gave me a blanket. I then told him there's space for two under the blanket in an obvious flirting tone. He answered with no thanks, I'm not cold. I still tease him with it once in a while. We are married now. I'm a guy, but I can share my identity as a guy that missed the hints. I went to a store where there was a girl I liked in college. We used to small talk while I browsed and never bought anything. Bring a poor college student. This time I came in the store and she said hi and we chatted a bit while I shopped. She complained, I'm going to be home alone tonight. My family is out of town. I replied, oh that's too bad. She says, I'm off at 5 today. It was 4 at the time. What are you up tonight? I'm up for anything. Oh nothing. Just sitting at home and watching a movie. My brain must have completely self-destructed because the conversation ended there. I never saw her again after that. She either quit or was avoiding me. I must have been in a daze from school to miss that cue. We were playing Don't Drink and Drive on Mario Kart. Just the two of us. I was trashing him, so L gave him a chance by lying sideways across his lap for the entire race. He didn't take the hint. We started dating 2 weeks after that. We matched on Bumble, dating app that the girl has to talk first, and I started a convo with him. He thought I just matched him because we were friends. No, it's a dating app. We didn't start dating until almost a year after that. We are married now. Not a girl, but I was staying a night at a hotel and the hotel bar had just closed. I went out front for a smoke and start chatting with 2 women. We shoot the shit for a few minutes and then all head back into the hotel and to the elevator. We get in, they press 15, I press 9, and one of them turns to me and says I don't suppose there's a secret bar on the 9th floor we can go to? My dumbass respos, no, but you can grab a cab and be at a bar in 10 minutes. Then the doors open and I leave. Edit. This is my most upvoted comment. Cool. This is amazing. How long did it take you to realize? Brushing teeth 15 years later. Wait a minute. I had a girl invite me round her house once just to show me her posters. They were all of Harley Davidson motorbikes and she said she's never ridden a Harley before. Awkward silence and after a few other sort bits of small talk I decided to be on my way. 2 years later I'm sitting on the bus and realize what she meant. Holly. Ridden the Holly. My name is Holly. I went out of my way to come in early and talk to this guy every day for like a month before someone else told him I was into him. I also repeatedly told him I liked him. He thought I was just being nice. A girl came to my house once and spent the night. Around the time for bed, she told me she doesn't sleep with a top on or panties. I told her that's okay, I'll sleep on the couch so she can be comfy. She called me from downstairs later that night and told me she couldn't sleep and she was cold. I figured, well obviously, you're naked. So I gave her another blanket and went back downstairs. Edit. Obligatory thank you for the silver and I'm glad everyone is laughing at my pain. I've tried responding the best I can but some of you guys are getting weirdly mean and it kills the mood. As a guy, to any girls reading this, you have no idea how easy it is to miss hints. Please be more obvious. We are also really bad at being scared of taking signals wrong. Edit. Post-award edits are so last year, so suffice it to say waking up to 37 new messages gave me a small what have I posted heart attack this morning. You are all very kind. A guy I'm currently seeing invited me camping earlier this month. We were cuddling, and I noted how nice the showers are in the bathroom at the provincial park. I said they're really warm and lots of space for 2 people, trying to hint for him to join me for sexy time. This man without missing a beat says actually, you could fit like 10 people in those showers. We laughed about it really hard the next weekend, and he said I knew what you were getting at, but my brain just wanted to answer it logically. I'm sure if Emily, from 15 years ago, saw this thread, she'd say, invited this guy to my place after our date. Got him into my room, into my bed. He was just lying there, so I told him my back was feeling sore and asked him if he could give me a massage. His reply, oh I don't want to crush you with my weight. He was about 170 pounds. Gave up and went to sleep. Truth is I did get the hint, but at the time I was a virgin. and I was convinced I had an STD. Yeah, good combo. Turns out I didn't have an STD. Do you have a similar story? Leave it in the comments below.